What's up guys, it's your boy BrandoAKAMiracle. I really wanted to show off a list of RDA that is budget. So we are playing RDA completely budget, meaning we're trying to play as many, as least amount of URs as possible, but also allowing URs that have like bundle deals and stuff like that. So we're trying our best to stay under a certain amount of URs and stuff like that. Now, this deck does function pretty good on a budget. I wanted to show off my best clip first. This deck can still pop off completely if you have the right combo pieces on a budget. Now, Bone ARCHFIEND is going to decrease the level of Red Supernova so we can go into an alternate line. Now, we have access to Vision here, Red Supernova, and pretty much all of our big pieces. The only one we didn't have access to, unfortunately, was Flame Crime to get the Red Rain Interruption, because that is a very good budget option for RDA. But nonetheless, man, trust me, I cooked here. This was probably the most, this is insane for RDA as it is. When I say I had full combo, that is an understatement. I had extra gas, maximum capabilities of playing through interruption. So we already have Red Supernova plus Hot Red Dragon Abyss, and we're also going to get out Abystial Dispatter. And we also have Obsessive Oovaloop in Graveyard, so we can recycle our Scarred, we can recycle and put an interruption with Bestial Dispatter in there. So we put the Scarred in there first, and then we use Oovaloop to then put the Red Rising as our interruption piece for Dispatter. So yeah, so on board right now, we have an interruption in Red Zone, interruption in Hot Red, Bestial Dispatter, Supernova, and Red Zone. Also giving another Supernova interaction for the Red Supernova. Now, I used the first effect of Red Zone to pop a card here because I do not want to give him that extra circular search. Honestly, didn't need to do this, and it honestly shouldn't have. It hindered me in the long run. Didn't think it was worth using the Hot Red Dragon ARCHFIEND Abyss and Negate on that. My opponent uses Mathemic Addition. That is the perfect interaction for Dispatter because it destroys the card. If your effect is special summoning the card, it's perfect. Now, he has the good Firewall Defensor summon in his back pocket, so he's going to be able to get out his Splash Mage. He's going to summon Defensor. I'm waiting. He's going to summon the Guardian and then use that Guardian's effect. Now, that's +3 link material. That I felt like was the Super Red Supernova activation right there. So we take out that, and my opponent gets the Defensor or Guardian and has nothing else. Now at that point, we still had the Hot Red Dragon ARCHFIEND Abyss Negate, so we were still in a decent spot. If we actually didn't use our Red Zone pop there, he would have had Mathemic Equation, and that could have been bad for us as well. So, a really nice win right there. Alright, one of our first games with this budget build, Prosperity. I feel like this is a really good budget card. Baits out Interruption especially, and if you need it, it does the job as well. I was using it honestly to bait out Interruption, and it worked successfully. Resonator Call getting us our Soul. Honestly, budget builds are more prone to interruption. Luckily for us, our opponent didn't have it. Now, I send Vision here because I didn't think Obsessive was worth it, especially with no 12 access. I learned in the future when I showed that budget clip, the first one, Obsessive really helps with Bestial Dispatter being a better card. Even if you can't do anything with its actual summon, I think it's worth it. Now, Synchron in red, since I already used the Vision. Hey, I remember OG RDA really loved gaining life points with Red Resonator. Using Scarred in our Synchron to get out Hot Red Dragon ARCHFIEND Abyss, not too bad. We have 2 pieces of interruption in hand, 2 budget pieces. We only do play one imperm, so we got lucky with that. Since you can have access to it in a bundle, that was kind of my thinking, because honestly, if you're a player in Master Duel and you're trying to play this deck, you should still open up your bundle selection packs, because there's really good cards like Valor, Imperm, Ash, Maxi. I think it's completely worth it. Now, using Crimson Gaia, we're going to get access to Red Zone, Set 2, and Pass. Now our Bestial Dissipator isn't exactly a crazy interruption, but since we use Prosperity, it is. Now our opponent reveals he is on Orcust. We use that imperm to negate the Orcust, and they can't do anything. That is pretty much a go-to of the RDA deck, is that combo that I just showed. Alright, another budget clip for you. We have Resonator Call. Resonator Call with any of these level 4s. Honestly, I'm gonna search for Crimson Resonator. It gives you a huge amount of an extension using Crimson Resonator, Wandering King as your first 2 summons, because they don't need to be using your normals at all. Red Rising, gonna get the Crimson. My opponent is going to reveal the Maxi. Luckily for us, we opened our one of the Ash Blossom. Maxi is still going to be a problem card, but we are playing cheaper alternatives like Called. I actually don't know if we're playing Called by in the list, because it's not a cheaper option, but Duel was the card I was thinking of there. We're going to use Vision and Red Rising to go into Scarred. And Scarred, we are going to first get our Crimson Gaia off of Vision, and then we are going to use Scarred and Crimson to go into the Bestial Dissipator first. Or my Archfiend Bane. Now we use this guy to get out our Red Dragon Archfiend, and we're going to use Bone Archfiend to tribute for the Branded Regain. I was playing Branded Regain, funny enough. This clip is actually from a stream. I made the budget deck as quickly as I could, and I was playing that card due to that fact. Now, the reason why I played Bone Archfiend was to tribute it off to get back the Scar Dragon Archfiend. So now our red zone has kind of interaction mid-turn, but we can also use that Vision that we just added back to get ourselves out Bestial Dissipator. Obsessive to banish the Scarred, and then special summon it using Red Dragon Archfiend. I guess in the beginning I thought Obsessive was worth it. I kind of switched off of it and then went right back to it. So this is another board, just different from Red Archfiend Bane and Obsessive to Red Supernova. But my opponent is on Kashtira purely. I feel like this isn't as good as negating the card, but I wanted to use that Bestial Dissipator pop somehow. My opponent searches for the spell. He's going to take a card out of my extra, my Red Supernova. Not fun for me. But actually, Red Zone will actually get rid of that purely. So we're not in too bad of a spot. Using that discard spell, he's going to bring back this effect, and that is when I'm going to negate it. So I kind of baited out a lot of his interaction there, and he ended up scooping after that fact. So not too shabby. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we're going first in this clip. Now, hear me out. MB, that was a name we faced in the first duel. Dude, I ran into this dude 2 separate times in my quest to get clips. Now, that's funny. I have time. I could show you the timestamps to prove it. But, nonetheless, we're going to try our best. This is actually the first time I faced him, funny enough. Not a bad opening. Red Rising and Crimson, using Crimson effect to get Red Resonator and Synchron. Now, also after the fact, I was also playing 3 Crimson Gaia in this build. That's kind of maybe a reason why we opened up with it. I just wanted to say that because Crimson Gaia is not a budget card, playing it at 3. I did later switch it to 1 and figure out different options. You do need to play one of it to get access to Red Zone and stuff like that. I mean, there's other RDA cards that you could play instead of Red Zone as well. There's the Fiendish Golem. But I feel like Red Zone, SRs are kind of budget. Maybe I have it wrong, chat. Let me know in the comments down below if you agree with that sentiment, but I can work on it. We're going to use our effect of this guy to get access to our Scarred, and I think this is a decent spot to stop. We're going to get Crimson Gaia and search that Red Zone, but we're going to set 2, so he kind of doesn't know which one is which. We did open up with a Droll. Gamma was also a hand trap I was experimenting with, decided against it. Now this dude played pretty loosely in my opinion. Using the effect of Forbidden Droplet to do that, negating the Hot Red Arching Abyss, kind of told me what he was trying to do. Now he searched for the Firewall Defensor, and I'm going to activate Droll there. To respond to the Firewall Defensor normal summon, I'm going to use Red Zone. Now, it was bait. He had the circular in hand, but luckily for me, Red Zone can activate. I banished my monster with Red Rain to bring it back with Hot Red or Red Zone to have a negate on board. Now, I don't care about this linking. He can do this. He knows Splash Mage is the targeted negate of my card, and I'm going to do it. And that is the end of that. Stopping the Splash Mage left him with no normal summon, only one additional card in hand, and he couldn't do anything about it. Now, I thought it was really funny that I ran into the dude 2 separate times and laddered using the budget deck, and I took the victory both times against Mathmech. Pretty strong deck in itself. Alright guys, now this looks different. Hear me out. This is me showing the difference, in my opinion, of RDA budget compared to a personal favorite of mine, RDA Centurion. My opponent is playing actually Centurion, in fact, going through his Centurion lines. Pretty decent start for Centurion, getting out access to Auxilla and having access to a Synchro during his next turn. Now, he kind of was forced to believe to play the Primera as his normal, which isn't that good, but nonetheless, he still had a decent move and all, having some plays to him. Now, getting the Phalanx, that's another piece of interaction for him, and using the Wake Up, he's going to have a level, 8 on board. Going to use the level 8 and the Centurion Gargoyle to go into a Heretic Seals. Now, that I thought was interesting, but this guy is playing some crazy Centurion tech and getting punished for it. I opened up the Bestial Magna in hand, and that means Centurion Ox is out of the question. I'm going to search for a dragon. I already have the Shining Star, but that's not too crazy. He sets one in pass. I get the Lubellion, and pretty much now he is screwed. It's all about what I think I can do here. He's going to use that Heretic Seal to put my Vision back to hand. Go for the Baldric, which I thought was interesting and all. It's not a terrible strategy. We're going to banish the Heretic to get out the Druis Worm, tribute off the Druis Worm to bring out Lubellion, and we're going to use Druis Worm to bring out or destroy the Baldric. Our opponent is not going to let us get Branded Regained. Now I have a normal in hand. I also have stand up, and I also have access to Shining Star Dragon for follow up during my opponent's turn. So I'm not worried in the slightest bit right here. I'm going to get Primera, use Vision to get Crimson Gaia, and we're also going to use Primera right away to give us access to our level 8 or Synchros. I have options here. I can go Chaos Angel. I can go Centurion. He actually uses a second Phalanx. Man, this dude's Centurion build is whack. Craziest thing I've ever seen. Kind of decided I wanted to go the alternate route. I have options here. I'm going to go Soul, bring out another guy. My opponent actually has outs for the Soul. Using that Effect Veiler, he survives this onslaught. I'm going to set one. I thought this was a good play and all. Using our Typhon to get rid of the token. I don't want to leave him with that. And we're going to go to battle and just hit for a little bit more damage. I mean, I can bring back the Lubellion next turn. I have access to Shining Star Dragon. I have options. I'm not worried. Especially with Primera coming back. That gives me a little bit more extra things I can do here. I'm going to bring out... I don't know exactly what I bring out at this point. I bring out Bestial Dispatter because he has banished cards. Dispatter is the right choice, and my opponent goes to having nothing left. So, I mean, I just wanted to show off tiny bits and differences between the builds. I mean, Typhon, non-budget card. Centurion is very expensive, and yeah. On to the deck list for you guys. Alright guys, so this is the final deck list in my opinion. I was playing. There's a few non-budget cards in here, including Vision in the main deck, and the Crimson Gaia. Those are, I feel like, are necessities for the strategy to work at the best. So that's what I decided to do. Now, extra deck wise, Red Rising Dragon SR, didn't think it was much of a big deal. Ancient Pixie Dragon is a UR, but you can get it through a Legacy pack or the Duelist Cut packs. So I felt like that was a good option. You really do like having a 7. Now, the end board cards are where it gets expensive. Guard, Hot Red, Bestial Dispatter, Chaos Angel, and Red Supernova. You can't afford Chaos Angel, that is the one to take out, as well as Red Supernova can... a lot of the time your end boards aren't going to revolve him, so you can go without him as well. He's just my favorite card in the deck, so that's why I like to go for that route. But yeah, honestly the deck works really well. There's other options you can play instead of what I'm doing. I feel like Small World's a really good search card, so we don't have to play as many copies as Crimson. For pretty much all of our spells are playing like as if they are searchable effects. But there's other options. Lightning Storm, another budget-friendly hand trap like Chalice or DD Crow. Skullmeister's not bad either. It's a fiend. It gives you... you can actually play it instead of Bestial Druisworm. Or more copies of was mixing Druis and Bestial, so I was saying Bruis. Bestial Druisworm. I hope you guys enjoyed the deck, and it actually did really decent. I had a lot of fun playing it, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you again for 2,500. I'm recording this actually the same day I recorded yesterday's video. Got a pre-record because I'm going on a business trip. So I'll see you guys next time.